Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Salty Sweet Games, where we shenanigan, sob, and smooch our way through tabletop role-playing games and scream our way through horror video games sometimes. I am Salty.
You know, my mute button was somewhere. I'm sweet.
It was so good. It was
fine.
like that was winding up to be a mwah, just such a mwah. And
we're on
intro.
an energy today. It's fine.
There's energy here. And these various assorted spices are our friends. Before we go around and meet everyone and ooh and ah over the new art, let's do some channel stuff first. Firstly, a ton of thanks to our sponsors, starting with Roll20, our virtual tabletop of choice, which unites gamers across any distance with easy-to-use tools that run straight from your web browser for free. We are part of their Spotlight program, which highlights indie TTRPG creators all across the interwebs, and we love them very much. And I have this pillow. It's not really a pillow. Can you imagine sleeping on this? It's a plushie, and I like it. I like having it right here, and it's pink. Anyway, we also have two other sponsors we want to tell y'all about, being Dice Envy and Grinding Coffee Co. Yes. We have affiliate links and codes that pop up in our chat. If you would like to get yourself some dice or some coffee, if you're here, you probably like one of those things at least. So these are two quality examples of those things. So if you want to get those, links are in chat and down below in the panels. What else do I have to talk to you about? Oh, yes. Thank you to everybody who has subbed, gifted subs, cheered, and all of that. You help us keep the lights on over here and compensate our cast and work on new projects, which is awesome. There are also ways you can directly impact this game down below. You will see them. It takes you to our Streamlabs tip jar. And there are different things you can look at. You can help the investigators. You can give them an eldritch gift, which I highly recommend because sometimes those are good. And sometimes those are less good, but they're never shitty. And that is the Lauren guarantee. Never shitty. I'm having a great
Let me
intro.
just quote that real quick.
Yeah, that's the Lauren guarantee. Never shitty. We love to see it. What else should I tell you? Last thing, we here at Salty Sweet Games use safety tools, lines, veils, XN and O cards, stars and wishes, and content warnings because while the characters may be put through hell, the players are here to have fun, and they're our priority always. Also, Missing Annie Lee, the second half is out on all your favorite podcast apps. It's really good. Summer's the GM of that one. You should go listen. The end. Let's meet people. Kienna, who are you playing today?
Yeah, like I said in a very delayed manner earlier, I'm Kienna. I'm the she of the channel. My pronouns are she and they. But today I am playing Irene Blackwell, who's she, her pronouns. She's in Shanghai, in a Chinese American person in China for the first time. So she's kind of just taking everything in. Don't mind the fact that she's also a forger, and casual past mob connections. No biggie.
Yes, and none of those. Why would any of those come up in Shanghai?
No idea.
They wouldn't. So don't worry about it. So
not like I'm looking at those content warnings and going,
What? Did someone add something to the content warnings? What? Anyway, let's go over to Allie.
Good morning. Hey, everybody. It's Allison. I play Ganymede Graves, adventure scientist. She uses she, her pronouns. So do I. And she's back in Shanghai. She's been here before, knows her way around a little bit, woman of the world and all of that. She's got this like new appreciation though for magic and the supernatural. So super excited to see how all of uh, all of this hits her today because we got some magic-y, supernaturally stuff going on. I think. Am I right? Am I right? Is that what's
Probably.
happening?
I mean, we're
I think
playing
maybe.
Call of Cthulhu.
Hey,
So,
good point. Good point.
alrighty, let's go down to Summer.
Hello, welcome to the stream. I'm Hi, I'm Summer. I use she her pronouns and I am the energy. The energy that I've brought into the game today is next level. So I deeply apologize to my fellow players and everyone watching for how much bullshit I'm about to be on because it's going to be hot, overflowing. I play one Mr. Charlie Rapp. He uses he him pronouns and like he's never been here before, but he's fucking with it so far. I think really having a great time. He's got a ton of information that he wasn't prepared to get it so easily, you know?
Sure, easily.
Yeah, and we're gonna go talk to a psychic or oracle, fortune teller,
Astrologer.
We're gonna go talk to an astrologer. It's gonna be so fun.
And last but not least, it's Long John Tommy.
Legitimately a name of a donut, Lauren.
I don't believe you.
Whatever.
It is legitimately.
I don't
It is
believe
legitimately
you.
the name of this donut. It is called a long john.
No.
Hi, hello. I'm Tommy at Imperator Pengu on the Twitter sphere. I do blah blah blah. I play Zebulon. I was about to go into my outro. I play Zebulon Augustine Claiborne Montgomery III. Who's actually pretty excited to be in Shanghai. It's a new place. It's a really interesting new place to be, but also feels a bit, climate-wise like home.
Yeah, it does. Yay. All right. Also, everyone, it's Galentine's Day. And obviously not everyone here is a gal. But if people want, we can all be gals today, but only if people want to celebrate the
I do.
love.
I want to.
So, feel free to be a gal today if you would like to be. Okay, let's do a recap. If you have never joined us before, it's like a perfect time. The investigators came together over the murder of their good friend Jackson Elias, who was investigating the infamous Carlisle expedition. All of the members were formerly presumed dead, and that led Jackson and now our investigators to a conspiracy involving various death cults around the world. Many names, many forms, but all the same and to one end. Based on the clues you found in New York and England and the encounters you've had with the Cult of the Bloody Tongue and the Brotherhood of the Black Pharaoh, you theorize that these cults are amassing in particular locations around the globe and working together to build a machine of some sort, though the particulars and purpose are still unknown to you. Last time, the investigators, fresh off the ship after a month of travel, hired a comprador to help them. Wow, Web Captioner got comprador right. Fascinating. To help them around the political powder keg and bustling metropolis that is the city of Shanghai. After checking into their guest house, they followed a lead to the Stumbling Tiger Bar, a puzzle talk bar where you pay for information. After mentioning the name of Carlisle Expedition member Jack Brady aloud, obviously a little more than a faux pas, the owner of the bar, McChum, firmly escorted Charles to the bathroom where he interrogated him. In the end, Charles managed to at least partially win McChum over and was told to ask Quivering Jade down the street at a Flower Girl house about Brady. However, others in the bar also heard the name. Zeb followed a man with a swallow tattoo on his hand to an estate where he later saw a curvaceous middle-aged woman enter. Drunkard in the bar revealed himself as a captain in the Japanese Imperial Navy who had heard rumblings that Jack Brady was involved with the development of a new and terrifying weapon. Amazing. So, we are all back together. We have left the Stumbling Tiger bar. Captain is Soje. Taro is following behind. What do you do?
I know what I want to do, but I want to make sure, what's everyone else want to do?
Yeah, how's everyone feeling?
How's everybody feeling?
Zeb is not quite with you yet. He went rather far to follow the man with the swallow tattoo.
Yeah. We're gonna wait for Zeb, obviously.
Yeah, y'all can meet back at your guest house if you like on Black
For sure.
Slipper Lane.
That probably makes sense.
Yeah. Because we need to play some catch up of like, I think like we'll get back to our room before I talk about it. But I am going to talk about it, what happened, because I went into the bathroom. They had a conversation outside the bathroom, and I had a conversation inside. And I would like to tell my friends about that conversation.
Yeah.
And everything I learned.
Yeah,
Everything.
I think we can make kind of a fast forward here to where we're all back together in the privacy of the guest house.
Yep.
Do you want Lin Yan Yu with you, your comprador? Wait, no, sorry. That is the name of a different character who you haven't met yet. I just really like her.
Furiously begins writing down the name.
No.
No, I already wrote that down. That's the woman that
Li Wen Cheng is
Li
your
Wen Cheng,
comprador.
No. I think not for this part.
Okay.
No. we don't need him for this part.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think we're all like back together, and Charlie's gonna give you the full rundown, including like all the stuff about the bloated lady and the armpit tattoo and Jack Brady and just everything. I'm gonna tell you everything that he learned from McChum.
Well,
And likewise, we'll share what we heard from the captain. You probably noticed him following us.
Oh yeah, did he come inside? Like, is he at the door?
No, I think he's going to politely wait to either be invited or he'll end up leaving in.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna invite him in for this part.
he's just waiting outside in the
That's fine.
hallway.
Yeah, he can wait outside. Oh, he can wait outside.
He's
the
like
whole
outside
house
of the
and on the
guest
street.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just like, just hold on a second.
It's not like there was food at the Stumbling Tiger bar, so he'll grab something to eat.
Smart. We're not feeding him.
And Zeb will recount sort of his little adventure, and sort of the house he found and the lady he saw.
The curvaceous lady.
I don't think that's how Zeb describes her, but sure.
Voluptuous.
Just a question, really quick, because I can't read my quivering jade.
Uh-huh.
Is that a thing? Okay, good. I just couldn't read. I was making sure that I had the right word there.
Mm-hmm.
But that was down the street, so I think that's kind of. Charlie says that obviously McChum told him to ask about that, or ask that person. I don't know if that's a person, place, or thing, but yeah, I think that he's gonna say all that and then be like, also, I would like to go see. And he reaches into his pocket. We'll pull out one of those flyers that has the Mr. Lung advertisement on it.
Yes. Let me pull that back up.
Yeah, it's cool.
Charles, to what end what are you hoping to accomplish with this visit to Mr. Lung?
Well, people in this line of work, they hear things. People coming to get some kind of prediction, maybe from the heavens and stars or whatever this is, but people talk to figures like this.
I believe we saw some of his flyers around the city vandalized, and kind of, I don't remember that entirely, but she's just trying to prompt your memory to see if that is actually what we saw.
Yeah, it was like scratched through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did notice that as well.
It did not seem random.
Well, all the more reason to meet him ourselves.
You know that bloated lady you mentioned seems real familiar. I think we may have seen something like that in those illusions that were being played on us at the exhibition.
Yes, I recall that as well. Zebulon.
Irene and I actually also saw a statue, a figurine of a bloated woman. And Lauren, that was being shipped here, right? Or was that being shipped to Australia? I wrote it down. I can go find it, but I didn't know if you remembered off the top of your head.
I do not remember off the top of my head, but I can certainly find it.
Hold on, I'm to it.
Yep, it's going here.
Yeah, it was being shipped here actually. I have the address somewhere in my notes.
And I suspect that this Madam Swallow y'all mentioned was probably the lady that I saw. Most likely.
That would make sense.
Yeah, the big swallow symbol kind of gave that away.
But we're not the only people who are going to be looking after Jack Brady, so I suggest that we maybe keep that to ourselves moving forward.
Yeah, maybe we do keep that to ourselves moving forward.
Charles.
Charles? You knew how you,
Did I know? Did I know? No.
Me
Did I have any way of
describes political powder keg just waiting to erupt. No, it was.
Listen.
I loved it. Please, I think it was actually fantastic with no
Me,
irony.
Tommy, it's great. Zeb is like, come on, Charles.
I thought it was smart.
Got you information, didn't it?
It did. It worked.
Well, you most certainly got the attention of, some folks. And I don't know, did y'all get a real vibe about this Madam Swallow person beyond sort of the fact that he stole a book from her? Like, is she the type to, now that we've mentioned it, send goons after us, string us up by our, ankles and hang us over as like fish bait in the bay?
I'm not sure. He didn't exactly make that clear, but considering there are two groups of people who are after this, whatever it is, then I think I think that we should probably get to it first, huh?
And I remind you that it is 10 days to the new moon.
Thank you, Ganymede.
If there is a ritual to be held somewhere here, we have precious little time to find our way to it.
So we're on a clock too.
So I should probably go see Mr. Lung sooner rather than later. Get that out of the way with.
Yeah.
By which, of course, you mean all of us should go see Mr.
Well,
Lum,
if you would
Charles.
like to come along.
Well, the last time that we spoke to a medium. Was certainly an interesting experience.
That's true. But hopefully this is quite a different experience, given that astrology, I don't know, has any innate connection to, I don't know, being sensitive to the beyond in any way. I think it's more about reading stars.
Well, I guess we'll go and find out.
We will. We'll find out for ourselves. Maybe we'll also uncover why some of his posters were destroyed.
Okay, you went to the Stumbling Tiger bar pretty early in the day?
It was like the first thing we did, yeah.
Yeah. So, do you want to go to Mr. Lung tonight? Or do you want to follow up about Quivering
need to-
Jade?
Yeah. Well, Quivering Jade, I think, would probably be good to do while we still have some daylight left. Because you got to wait for the mood to be right
Sure.
for Mr. Lung. So, like, sunset, like twilight hours to go do that.
Sure. All right.
Is that okay by you, Lauren? Is that okay?
That's great. That's
I
fine.
would. Before we do anything else as well, Ganymede seeks out their comprador, Mr. Lee, and asks him if he could make some discreet inquiries at the port. She would like to be notified the moment that the Sea Devil arrives at the port of Shanghai, if it does.
Okay. Where are you, Mr. Lee? No, why would I have put your character sheet in here? That would have been silly. Okay. So, are you not planning on taking him with you while you wander Shanghai today?
No, I think he should come with us, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Just
I
in
just
case.
I don't imagine that. I don't intend for him to be the one who's watching, but for him to get someone to watch.
Okay.
A little dock
Yeah.
worker.
Yeah.
We'll pay whoever, Lauren. We'll just pay him whatever.
Yeah.
All right. He will do his best. It's a city on the water, so there's literally just so much dock to watch. Okay. So what McChum told you is that Quivering Jade is at a Flower Girl house down the street from the Stumbling Tiger. If you have Mr. Lee with you, that's going to be a lot easier to find. The Stumbling...
That's not the one. Is that the one that Mr. Lee told Zeb about earlier?
Yes, I think, actually. The one...
Perfect.
Yeah. The one at 88 Lantern Street. One witness... There was some kind of murder, and one witness was so distraught that she identified the killer as a giant bat. So these Flower Girl houses are one and the same. And so the Stumbling Tiger bar is at 8 on your map, and 88 Lantern Street is at number 7. So it's not really far to go at all. Which is
Awesome.
nice. So when you arrive, there is on the door frame outside, instead of plaques, there are articles from the Shanghai Courier posts, like almost like pasted on there, and there are several. It's almost like a kind of mockery, and I think someone is out front like taking them down. And if one of you would like to read this, it is in English. The Courier is multilingual. So
Hell yeah.
if one of you would like to read that aloud.
I'll read it. I think it's been a while since I've read something. Violent incident on Lantern Street. Police report murders at a premises at 88 Lantern Street, sometime after midnight last night. The victims were identified as Miss Reparita Wong, resident at the address, and Mr. Chin. He. I don't know how to pronounce it.
I don't know either.
Shicho.
It's she, yeah, like
Yeah.
she, yeah, like
Yeah.
if
It's similar sort of to the Korean pronunciation, but they wouldn't have the H in front of it. Okay.
yeah, it's a very subtle H on the
Yeah.
front.
Nice.
Whose address was unavailable at the time of publication. Lantern Street habitus,
Sure.
normally not noted for compassion, were taken aback by the cruelty of the crimes. One witness was so distraught that she identified the killer as a giant bat. Police Inspector Chong indicates that the slayings were unusually violent. He requests anyone with knowledge either of Miss Wong or Mr. Chin to make themselves known to his inquiry.
Yeah, and so several, as described, several of these are kind of pasted onto the door frame.
Well, seems like we're coming to the right place for weird stuff happening.
Reminds me of Lesser Edale.
Yeah.
Mysterious killings. Certainly not the work of strange creatures.
Yep.
I'll just take one, one of the articles. I'll just take it.
Peel it off.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's already a guy peeling them off. I'll take one.
Yeah.
I'm being helpful.
Mr. Lee is very uncomfortable. I think he crosses himself. 'Cause as described, he is Christian.
Yeah, and I'll tell him, I was told to look for quivering jade.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So he will knock at the door with distaste. And when the door opens, several very attractive and attentive young ladies come down. They're definitely intrigued. Maybe when they come out initially, it's a bit hesitant because of obviously the articles being pasted everywhere. They've probably had to deal with shit related to that. But Mr. Lee begins kind of translating, asks for quivering jade, and she comes forward. What would you like to ask her?
I would like to ask her if we could speak alone privately.
At that point, she nods, but an older woman comes out. Mr. Lee says that this is Auntie G, and he just poor Mr. Lee.
I know he hates it so bad.
He just looks at you and says like a price.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Zeb is going to ask where. Zeb's going to kind of try to do like while they're doing that. He figures we don't need all four of us going in there, so he's going to go do some investigating of his own. Here he's gonna inquire.
You look so suspicious. Just by the way,
He's gonna inquire since this is he still hasn't quite caught on yet. But
Sure.
since he was informed that this was a flower shop, he's looking to buy some flowers.
Okay, so Quivering Jade is going to take Charles inside. Mr. Lee, I think he does it. I mean, I don't know. Does he do it?
I make it very clear that I was just talking.
Sure.
Like, Just talking.
Does how reluctant does Mr. Lee look like he wants to like clarify this? Like, does he want to say anything, or is it very much like
I think
I'm
he,
gonna go be a good Christian man over here?
do you want to make, he says something to, the women.
Okay. I can make a language roll.
Sure.
What are he? What Shanghainese? Is this what he's speaking in?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have very little in that. I'll just
Yeah.
roll for fun. Why
Yeah.
not?
Why not? You know?
Oh
Yeah.
my god. I think the only thing that comes across is American.
Okay. Yeah. Or like, yeah, Guaylo, like,
Yeah.
like a white person.
Yes. But exactly what he says,
Yep. Okay.
yeah, he's not. He's just uncomfortable. He'll kind of, as he says that, he'll like excuse himself
Yeah.
and come back to all of you and kind of point things out. He points kind of down the street toward the river and says very under his breath, like, Hofang's warehouse is that way, not far at all. And then points kind of to the southeast, and where we are going on Kaoyang Street to Mr. Lung is that way. You're all in a like a little triangle.
Ganymede, I think, leans over toward Irene. We could go take a peek at the warehouse while Charles is busy.
That's
Why'd you say it like that?
yeah. I think it's definitely that phrasing that's just like I think Irene blushes a little bit. Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea.
We don't have much time, but we never know what we might learn.
Might as well just take a look on the outside. I think she looks at Zeb and then at Ganymede. Should we tell him? I feel like maybe we should, but also that would be very embarrassing for him. But also he'd be embarrassing himself more. And I'm not sure what's the best way to approach this.
Ganymede looks at Zeb for a moment.
Zeb, do you realize they're talking about you?
I think it's funnier if he doesn't.
Yes, perfect.
I think
Ganymede looks at
he's speaking what he's trying to communicate with someone who probably doesn't speak English or doesn't speak a lot of English. Flowers. I'm looking,
And like gesturing,
Yeah.
like
he's like trying to gesture flowers, but it could be anything. Like,
Who knows?
I hate it. I
yeah,
love it,
I love it.
but I love it.
And so Ganymede watches him doing this for a moment. She kind of cocks her head a bit. And then she turns back to Irene and says, I've typically found that the best lessons are the ones that we learn for ourselves.
right. And I think she just watches Zeb like make these gestures and just kind of let's I suppose we should just tell Mr. Lee to stay with him while we just take a short stroll down the street.
Yes. It's a wonderful idea, I think.
Not gonna leave Zeb alone.
Why not? I don't understand. Okay. Okay, so let's cut inside to a very nice room with a very centrally placed bed. And you are alone with Quivering Jade.
Yeah, I'll sit in a chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Charlie's just gonna start by saying, Mick Chum told me to come talk to you.
I think she recognizes the name Mick Chum, but she speaks very little English.
Okay. I'm torn because it's like I would probably want Mr. Lee in here, but then I have to talk about.
Do you want to get him?
But then I have to talk about stuff in front of him, and I'm nervy about that.
Yeah.
But you know what? Let's do it. Let's bring him in because he's gonna be deep in the shit anyway. It's
Okay.
too late for him.
All right.
Honestly, so yeah, he's invited in.
So you come back down as he's kind of standing there, and Zeb's making gestures at
I
him.
hate it.
So yes, he will join you.
Yeah, making it very clear. I'm like, come on,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Leaving Zeb alone. Unless
Yeah,
Zeb wants to
yes.
come. Do you want to come into the flower house?
I'll give Zeb some money. Like, he's
Yeah,
fine
Zeb-
on his own.
Yeah,
Go get some
Zeb's
flowers,
Trying to
Zeb.
find some flowers, and clearly
Yep.
they must have flowers in the flower house.
Yep, great.
Just go around, find
great.
one.
Great.
Come back to me when you found a flower.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll, say all that again, basically.
Okay. McChum, what did you say McChum told me?
Told me to come see you, to come talk to you.
About what?
Jack.
She looks confused.
I don't have any, like, do I have, like, a physical description of what Jack Brady looks like? Do I know?
There were, I'm sure in some of the articles, there was probably at least one picture because one of the members of the Carlisle Expedition, Hypatia Masters, was a photographer.
Yeah. I am gonna pull out that article that had the picture in it.
Sure.
I'm sure I brought it with me because if Jack Brady's going under a different name, then it would
Sure.
probably, like, it would make sense to have some kind of
Right.
photo. Because it would make sense since everybody's after him for him to not use that name. But
Yeah.
he's gonna pull up the photo and show her, like, point to Jack Brady.
She definitely looks, like she recognizes him and she says, John.
John, okay. I think he's gonna ask, has he come to see you? How do you know him?
So basically with the translation, I think Mr. Lee definitely, like, has sensed that what's going on here is not what he thought.
Yeah.
So the translations are pretty, like, rapid. He's getting you this information, like,
Yeah.
quickly and accurately as he can. Quivering Jade says that the girl who lived in this room previously was sold to another house. They go back and forth, and then Mr. Lee says 140 Lantern Street. The day before the incident, probably referring to the article, because she was keeping an American in her room.
Oh. Yeah, I think that Charlie's gonna say, do you know if they're still together?
She shrugs, and says the girl is called Choi Mei-ling. She was sold, and they don't, and Quivering Jay doesn't really get to leave the flower house too much, so she doesn't know.
Charlie's gonna ask if she met John, like, or ever spoke to him at all, or how, like, I guess because was it like John was uncovered and they were thrown out, or was it like all the girls knew about John being there and they were keeping it a secret kind of vibes?
I think more like they were keeping it a secret for Choi Mei Ling.
Yeah.
But yeah, once it was kind of uncovered, the auntie kicked him out and sold the flower
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah. And then I guess just Charlie's gonna ask what their relationship was. Like, were they in love or were they friends? Why was she housing him, basically?
I think it basically amounts to like lovers.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that Charlie's gonna thank her like extensively and ask if he can look around the room.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I think that he's gonna just like quickly do a sweep to see if if Jack left anything behind.
Ooh.
Because and it's fine if there's nothing here, like if the room was like totally swept, like cleaned out when they left. But if Jack Brady was building a weapon, Charlie's like, it doesn't hurt to like check the floorboards, like it doesn't hurt. What does it hurt? So he's gonna quickly like look around the room.
Yeah, absolutely. Spot hidden, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna use an advantage.
Okay.
Never hurts to have more advantages for Valentine's Day. I say to no one in particular. Success.
Okay, nice. Oh God, your
I
spot
got a
hidden
failure.
is-
I hate.
It's amazing that you got a failure.
It's ridiculous, actually.
Okay,
Yeah.
but you did get a success as well. You find an unfinished note, kind of quickly hidden, maybe under a rug. That says, and it's in English, Min, my man, have to go underground to finish the work. Get your Fermies ready. We go soon. We'll contact you in the usual manner.
I'm gonna just put that in my pocket.
Sure.
Yeah, and I if she doesn't seem like she knows much else,
Yeah.
then Charlie will again like thank her for her time and like probably tip her, I guess. And then he'll leave to go find Zeb.
Yeah. Zeb is
Yeah, where is Zeb?
being shown around the like main floor by the auntie. So Zeb is meeting a lot of young women, and there are no flowers in here.
Yeah, Zeb's just like, well, I mean, it seems to be a very lovely establishment. I'm still, Frank, I'm not seeing any flowers around here. Do you like keep them in the back? Is this like, I do an order and then I come back and get it?
And I
Like,
think that's when Mr.
Yeah.
Lee and Charlie come down, and I think finally Mr. Lee cracks a smile.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that Charlie is listening to Zeb like rattle off about orders or whatever, and I think Charlie just finally sighs and goes, Zeb, you pay them for sex. Here.
Zeb definitely blushes and just like, you know what?
Flower house. Zeb.
In retrospect, that makes a lot more sense. Y'all are lovely. And I wish you the best of luck in your lives. Unfortunately, my associate here has informed me of an urgent thing we need to get to, and we gotta go.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Okay, so the ladies So
I've like got his hat like in his hands now, like
Yep.
like just like
So respectful.
so
Truly.
good.
just doing that like half nod on his back as he's backing out, just like.
So, a little bit to the south, near the river, you come across a large brick building. Make a spot hidden roll. I'm gonna give y'all lots of description, but there are certain things that are not immediately obvious. So if the ladies want to make a spot hidden. Nice. Okay. So the building's brick, but at least a part of it is built on a wooden pier or like wooden pilings. There's a stout peaked tile roof that fends off rain. There are 5 sets of large doors along the sides of the building. And there are also 2 stories of that face the street. Maybe offices. Like, it's obviously mostly like storage, right? The windows here are all at least 7 feet off the ground and are covered with iron grills. There are padlocks that are currently open because it's the middle of the day on a Monday. So people are moving in and out. And the dock is empty right now. Their like personal one. There's no one there at the moment.
And you said that the building actually, they're part of a building extends out over the water.
It does. On like a wooden pier.
How high off of the water?
Oh dear. Oh dear. Let me find out for you. Because that is a section.
Like what could fit under there?
And let me also rephrase one thing. Okay. Well. I should have known you would ask that if you saw it.
I'm very clever.
Can be accessed. I mean, obviously you could swim under it. You couldn't, like, put even, like, a small boat, but a person could. Just so you know. And
That's
any
very
other
good.
kind of thing that swims.
Yes. Like fish.
Like,
Harmless fish.
like,
And people.
yes, the only 2 things that could possibly be in the water.
A dog.
Okay, good. I just wanted to clarify that.
A dog.
Noted. Very well. No interesting comings or goings as we're watching?
I actually, as you were there, I think a ship does come into their dock. It's not the only place. There's obviously room for another ship. It's a large, well-kept, motorized junk ship. And it says the luxuriant goddess on the side in various languages.
And does it have a home port name under it?
Would that
Wouldn't
be visible?
It would typically be right under the name of the.
It's British.
Oh, fascinating.
It is fascinating, isn't it? Which means that it is effectively shielded from inspection by any faction of Chinese government.
Mm-hmm.
What a great question. You know things about ships. That's so cool.
And as we're watching, and I hope it went without saying, but we're Kienna, we're trying not to be seen
we're like,
casually.
I mean, if we're just walking past, like, we're just trying to not get attention. Like, I'm sure people will
Yeah.
probably see there's a couple people walking by. I'd rather not be like, those two people were suspicious.
Yes. Yes.
Great. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Very well.
Yeah, Suf.
Anything else that we need to do while we're here?
I don't think so.
No. This is definitely the doc that I want watched, though.
Okay. Now that you have a specific place to watch,
Yes.
great. Mr. Lee can definitely figure something out. Lots of the compradors hang out by the docks, which makes sense to pick up clients. So knowing that this one, if you give him like money, he can pay like a courier or the equivalent to like keep an eye out. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking too. Good.
Totally. Okay, and you are all back together. When you come back, Zeb's hat is in his hand, and maybe he's a little like red in the cheeks, in the face cheeks.
Beaming. Looks so happy.
In the face cheeks.
There's a lot of red.
We
in the
can't
face
see his
cheeks.
other cheeks. We don't know what color they
That's
are.
why I clarified.
It's Valentine's Day. We don't know. Yeah, Charlie will relay everything that he won't use the name Jack, but he will show them the note that he took and say, okay, this is the other address, freaking 140 Lantern Street, and I think he'll give that address as well to Mr. Lee and say, does this place does it have any kind of reputation outside of being, a
Yeah.
flower house?
Yeah. I think he knows that the manager kind of has a reputation for not exactly being a caring employer. Like kind of dresses up like a kind of hokey doctor. Yeah, but that's all he knows about it.
Cool. Yeah, he's a good Christian boy.
Yes. So where to?
Well, what time is it? Evening?
No, like mid-afternoon.
Okay, we'll go get food.
Yeah, we know we could actually go get some food. Finally.
Yeah.
I believe we had originally intended to go get some food, and then we never actually
You
went
never
and
got
some
the food. Okay. Yeah, you can get some food around here easily.
Yeah. And let's make sure Mr. Lee is well lunched as well.
Cool. So, destination.
After we eat, then let me go look at the map. The other place that we wanted to go, I guess, would be I mean, we've been everywhere else, right? I'm not missing anything, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, you
I
could
don't think
go
so.
check out 140 Lantern Street. It's more
yeah,
to
we
the
might
east.
as well if it's like pretty close by. Oh yeah. Well, it's kind of out of the way.
Zeb,
No. We'll wait. We'll go there
Zeb's
later.
just like, I think Charles, you best check out this other place. I think it's more your speed.
What does that mean?
It means what I said.
I think it means you know more about flowers than Zebulon does.
That I think that's true. Let's go to Mr. Lung's first, and we can stop by 140.
Yeah. 140
Good
will
plan.
probably be open later.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically 2 blocks east of Hofang's warehouse is Mr. Lungs. So a couple things when you arrive. The door's painted red. Definitely auspicious, a good color. And from the smell, it appears as if it's been like freshly painted. There are 2 wooden plaques, each approximately 8 inches by 1 inch wide, one on either side of the door around head height. And they are covered in a couple of strange symbols that do appear to be based on Chinese script. Someone can make a natural world roll. And if you would like to look at the script, you can make a Chinese language skill check if you have it.
Yep, that'll absolutely 100% be Zebulon.
Yeah, Zebulon,
We'll be
Augustine,
making that
Claiborne, Montgomery.
Zebulon, Augustine, Claiborne, Montgomery definitely has a lot of points in that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so
I'm
I guess
I'm gonna use 8 points of luck. I tell you what.
Okay.
Luck is a free-
I got
luck
I
is
got a
free
regular
resource.
success.
I know, but then I can mark it as a success, right?
yes.
You
And
don't need to.
improve it.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And improve it when we
Um,
advance next.
So here's an interesting question about languages.
Yeah.
So Chinese script and spoken are 2 different things in terms of dialect, right? Because you have a unified, generally unified writing system, but how people speak it is different.
Okay.
So my question is, like, because I split out my
Yeah.
Chinese languages into Cantonese and Shanghainese, how do you want me to handle that?
I think whichever one is your better
Okay,
skill,
cool.
we can use for script.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, nice. Okay. So with the natural world successes, it's kind of the smell. I mean, there is paint, but the wood, however, the 2 of you know this, please feel free to elaborate, but the wood is peach tree wood. And you can make an occult roll, the 2 of you, now that you know that. And for the language, they're kind of like magical words, the combination of characters to form new phrases of power. The left-hand plaque, Irene roughly translates as the god of thunder orders, while the right-hand plaque reads the death of spirits. So the god of thunder orders the death of spirits.
Extreme success. I didn't use an advantage, but I got 2 extreme
2
successes.
extreme successes. So, Peachwood, the reason that you even, like, Peachwood comes into your mind probably, is because Peachwood is important in the construction of Taufu, basically like charms or wards against spirits and demons. Yeah, so that is what you know. Oh, also, the door, being decorated in the manner it is, around like earlier in the year, these plaques would be common, as would the color of the door, but the presence is a little bit odd at this time of year. There are no other doors in this neighborhood like decorated or painted like this. It definitely stands out.
Do we know what connection to the year, like to the time of year this particular decoration holds? Like, is it associated with particular like holiday or season? Or
Yeah,
something like
around
that?
the new year.
Okay.
Oh, hey, guess what the zodiac animal of 1925 is?
What?
It's the ox.
Whoa.
That's great.
Whoa.
Like same as the current year.
Nice.
Wow.
Also, since all of you were preoccupied, Zeb, make a spot hidden check.
Zeb's just kind of generally looking around.
Mm-hmm.
No advantages for me. I'm just for all
You're
of you out there, no
fine.
advantages.
You're fine.
Regular success.
Okay.
Please be good enough.
From across the street, there's not a lot of business going around on in the immediate area. So it's maybe why you notice there's a Siamese cat across the street, just kind of looking. And then it starts to come over. It's very cute.
Zeb is very, very distracted by this cat.
Yeah, it's very cute. It seems
Zeb is gonna squat down and do the kind of thing, like calling it over.
yeah.
So y'all just see Zeb getting very distracted by a cat because that's Zeb. Puppies and cats. Zeb's very distracted by them.
Great. The cat comes closer. It seems as distracted by you as you are by it.
Oh, well, who's a good? He's gonna start scratching it behind the ear.
Yes, it likes that. Yeah, it'll just hang out with you since you're over here.
He's very distracted by this cat. He cares way more about this cat than than Mr. Long.
So, what are y'all doing?
Zeb is scratching the cat, still is petting the cat.
I'm just I'm not nasty at all, so we're just gonna go in.
Yeah.
I'm a totally normal, not nasty person.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go inside.
You're gonna knock on the door?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
I'm gonna knock on the door. I'm gonna barge in. No, I'm gonna knock.
Okay,
Respectfully.
great. Wonderful. At first there's no answer. But you can make a listen check.
Oh yeah, I'd love to. Actually. Listening, I'm so good at listening. 45. Okay. Success.
They're definitely, you hear footsteps inside.
Charlie's gonna knock louder.
Okay. You knock.
Knock.
Yes, you knock louder. And the door now opens, and there's a small man dressed in an embroidered purple silk robe with a matching round cap. He looks very surprised. He looks.
Do we have a picture?
Oh, yes. I definitely have a picture. Show
just
to
interested in it.
players.
Oh yeah, yes.
Yes.
Charlie's gonna say, "Are you Mr. Lung?"
Yeah, I am. Mr. Lee translates back and forth. And he says yes. I just need
Yeah.
just need a second to check
Yeah,
something.
take your time.
Okay. He says yes, and asks basically what you want. Mr. Lee looks a little a little surprised. Maybe it's you can't really tell why, but when he translates to you, he basically says, "What
Mr. Lung's being rude or something?
A little bit, yeah.
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 I think Charlie will pull out his flyer.
Yeah.
And I think he's gonna just be like, are you not open for business?
I think finally I think the door closes for a moment, like he's like undoing a chain or something.
Yeah.
And then the door opens, and the cat that you're petting, Zeb, like shoots in the door. And Mr. Lung is like, like, kind of annoyed, but is like maintaining eye contact with all of you, and
Yeah.
kind of very dramatically in English says, "Come in."
Great.
It's just a very different energy now.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll come inside.
Mm-hmm. Great.
What can you share the article again? What exactly did it say he does?
He's an astrologer.
I know, but like
It says, "The stars are right. Do not allow dark fate to overwhelm you. Worry not that evil rivals seem to possess secret knowledge that you lack. The answer is in the stars. Consult
Cool.
the heavenly stem and the earthly branch to peer behind the mask and uncover
Okay.
what is lost."
Yeah, yes. I want to do all of that.
Great.
Charlie's super into that.
There's a lot of
I wanna do all
keywords
that.
in that align with our.
What are you talking
Like,
about?
like to
No,
call
there's
buzzer
no.
words. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie's gonna just be
Yeah.
like, I would love to get a reading or whatever it is you do.
Yeah. Yeah. He, again, in English, he'll say very dramatically, like, "Yes, good." And he's just, like, nodding.
Yeah.
The vibe is very weird.
Yeah.
Irene, do you think you know much about astrology, or is that just, like, not a field that she's been interested in?
I don't think it's a ton of knowledge. I think there's some like, the basic, 12 signs,
Right.
different than Western astrology.
Mm-hmm.
Probably knows the basics of like, each animal represents different things.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I don't think she like knows a ton.
Yeah. So just so we know, kind of out of character, it has to do with the notion of one's destiny being fixed in the heavens from the moment of birth. So you have the 12-year cycle of animals, right? But it's way more complex. The purple might give this away to someone who knows occult, so maybe like Charlie might know this. Mr. Lung's branch is purple star astrology. Very complex, very difficult to perform. It takes into account the constellation animal of the hour, month, and day, as well as the year of birth and the various kind of palaces in which auspicious or inauspicious stars appear. This used to be very like, they're still sought after, people who do purple star astrology, but it's less common now. So,
Yeah. Super impressive, man.
yeah. The cat is inside just like waiting for you, Zeb.
Zeb
Like-
follows the cat.
It sticks by you, like,
Zeb's got big, dumb, golden dog retriever energy.
like the cat likes this. Do I have a picture of the cute cat? I do. I have a picture of the cute kitty. Wait,
I
we
love
should
it.
all see this. There we go. Look at
That's
that.
so great. Look at the
Very
Look at
good.
that.
Incredible.
Such a good kitty.
Very
We
good cat.
love it.
A
We
good
love
cat.
Good
it.
kitty.
It's a good cat.
It's a good cat. Okay, all right. Calm down. Okay. So let me take you over to Mr. Lung's apartment. Everybody wants to see that.
Yes, I'm so happy to have a map.
Right?
Nothing bad could happen in a place
Why
that
would
has a map.
anything bad happen with a map?
word
In
on there, so
the
that's great.
entrance hall, there are kind of amulets hung around. That's like the main thing. Although it's separated from the rest of the apartment, there's a screen in between. yeah, you'll recognize Peachwood again, Charlie and Ganymede in here too. And Mr. Lung kind of talks to Mr. Lee and is asking you to touch the amulets. Like, look, examine them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Some of them are like miniature animals. Some are very exquisitely carved, and some are like kind of cheap but like fun. So yeah.
Yeah, Ganymede will as well spend some time more trying to be polite than anything, I think, but seeing what she
Charlie's
can
interested. I'm super into
learn
Yeah.
from them. Yeah.
I think like Charlie especially in like New York and like some cities on the coast in California, they would have shops that would try and emulate this,
Sure.
but always came off like really insincere, I guess. And so this is like really like Charlie like loves it. Like he's like, I've seen so many like rip-offs of this exact like kind of vibe that people seek after. Like, yeah.
That's interesting because probably make another occult roll, Charlie.
Yeah, I'd love to. Sounds so fun. Extreme success.
Okay, definitely more
It's happening.
legit, but
Yeah.
still kind of over the top.
Really? Like overdoing it? Like
Yeah.
really trying to sell himself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So do you reach out and touch one?
Lauren, absolutely I do.
Okay.
Valentine's Day, what am I gonna do?
When you
Not?
do that, nothing happens. But Mr. Lung's eyes grow wide.
Charlie looks at him.
Then he stops.
Oh.
Yes, he's like, yes, very, very beautiful. This one is a favorite.
I'll compliment the various amulets.
Yeah. Okay. And he's like, yes, come in more. And he like moves the screen aside. He's back to that kind of like showman vibe that's going on. And when you get into this room, it's a little weird. It doesn't look. I mean, people across the world arrange furniture in different ways, but it looks weird.
Like the arrangement of the furniture?
Yeah. It's like you
Yeah, I
can't
mean,
like walk straight across the room. You have to like turn.
Yeah, if this map is like, it's like the chairs are kind of like weirdly placed throughout and like, yeah.
And those are screens, aren't they, that are blocking off parts of the room.
Yeah.
It almost feels a little maze-like.
Charlie will make like a vague observation
Yeah.
about the screens.
Yeah.
It's feng shui, right? It's to prevent fortune or anything from just going through the house. You have to block it in certain patterns and ways that are more in tune with the way that energies are supposed to flow.
Oh.
Yeah, so he walks like into the middle of the room and is like,
Yeah.
Yes, come in. Zeb's gonna ask if this is his cat, and if it has a name.
oh, yeah, Mr. Lee will translate, and he's basically like, must be a neighbor's cat. Like, he's never seen it. But, like, at first he kind of thought it was yours since it was with you. But he doesn't seem to be paying it much attention.
Okay, Zeb's just gonna keep patting its head.
Great.
Who's the
Yeah, I'll come
kitty?
in, sit down or whatever.
The kitty will, like, climb on some furniture or something. Yeah, you come in and he doesn't actually tell you to sit down. There's no place for a group to sit down in here, and there's obviously no, like, astrology reading space here.
Okay.
So he,
I'll
like,
just go
yeah.
wherever he gestures me to.
Yeah. So as you go further in, kind of, over the living area, you see some scrolls dangling about, like, actually in the whole room. They almost, you maybe thought they were like fly paper, but when you look closer, they have like images and words that mean tiger, basically.
Not.
Like, what are you doing?
Nothing?
Like, just what are you doing?
There's something we need to know, Lauren?
No.
What is happening?
Yeah.
I'll say. I'll mention the tigers. Like, what's the symbology of the tiger relevant to?
Oh, he says. The way he says it again, he's not speaking this in English because it's he says tigers are for protection, and his eyes get big again. And he just like stares at you. I think he's mostly staring at Charlie as kind of the one who's doing a lot of talking.
Yeah, I actually noticed that your doorway was set up for protection as well. What do you need protection from?
I think his eyes just get big again. I think he smiles, like a very like wide, thin smile, and says to come on. There's a brazier standing toward the rear of the living room.
What's fucking happening?
and weirdly there are slippers. I think you probably see this. There are like slippers in like silk slippers just like in the brazier, and he like pulls like a matchbox and like lights the brazier and kind of like stands on the other side, so the brazier's between you and him.
Okay, yeah, great.
And it's a very bad smell when it starts up.
What is fucking happening? Why are
Is he using this
I love it
brazier
here,
as
but
his
I'm
like trash
confused.
disposal at the same time?
I'm just waiting for shit to go south. You know what I mean?
I need
Like,
you
I know
all.
it's coming.
Oh, okay.
What the fuck?
That's one.
Lauren.
There we go.
Lauren!
What are you talking about?
Lauren!
Stop it!
Really confused and concerned.
Don't worry about
I'm
it.
so confused.
I'm worried about it.
I need you all to make con checks.
Oh my god. What?
It's a nasty smell, and like the cat doesn't even like it. It like moves
Guess who
away
makes
from
con
it.
rolls at advantage?
Is
I
it
do.
Zeb?
It's Zeb.
I'm gonna
We
use
don't
an
make a lot of
advantage.
con rolls, but
I'm gonna use an advantage because guess who's not good at con?
Is it Charlie?
It's me. Okay. Roll 20, you've been with me today. Get with me again.
no.
Nope.
Fucking
Do
shit.
you want to spend 20 luck?
No.
Yeah, let's go for
Don't.
it. Put me at 35.
Hard
I'm
success.
playing with fire.
Okay, so Ganymede and Charlie, you're not gonna take any damage. It's just you
Okay.
start to kind of like cough a bit, and gag, and Mr. Lung claps his hands. And then when it like kind of calms down, I think Mr. Lee like goes to open a window. Like he's not usually like that, but he thinks like an accident. He's like, oh, it was an accident. Like he didn't,
Yeah.
something like that. And he like opens the windows.
Like you didn't mean to
Yeah.
overwhelm us with smoke?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But Mr. Lee is now thoroughly weirded out.
Yeah.
We're all just a little
The
like, what
cat
hell
did
is
not
going on?
like that. The cat like comes over to the window too and just kind of like sits in the window for a second.
I think Charlie's gonna look at Mr. Lee and say, have you met this man before? Is he
No.
normally like this?
I don't know. Like he has no. I've never met this man before. But Mr. Lee repeats kind of like slippers, burning slippers to himself.
Burning
Like
slippers.
Like he should know something about that, but Mr. Lee is Christian, so
I didn't hear anything about that, did I?
you could make an
Oh my
occult check.
Why do I feel like I have heard that phrase before? Okay.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm just hallucinating.
Maybe you're thinking of the original Snow White.
Maybe I am. Lauren, thank you
don't
for
know.
that's actually exactly.
But the smoke soon clears.
Are hard success.
Usually, that's kind of a superstition to protect, like, infants. Like, you would, like, do this kind of, like, you burn slippers and it, like, expels, like, misfortune.
Okay.
But once the smoke clears, again, Mr. Lung's eyes are very big when you're all, like, recovering from coughing.
Do you want us to sit? How does this usually work?
And then in English he'll say, back to the kind of showmanship thing, back room. Gestures for all of you to come forward.
Charlie kind of, I think, just gives an apologetic glance at the rest of the group, like, sorry, I didn't know it was gonna be this weird. My friends, let's go into the back room.
Yeah. It's like up a little set of stairs.
Yeah. Charlie definitely feels like, I don't know. I don't feel like he's definitely intrigued, right? Because this is so bizarre. Like, this is so bizarre that it's interesting, but also he's wondering if it is a dead end, like if it's like just a complete waste of time. Because he's like, okay, if this guy is acting so bizarre that like Mr. Lee is like, okay, this guy is weird.
Yeah.
Then it would make sense that people would be like potentially slashing his flyers, right? Like,
Yeah.
this guy's just a weirdo. We don't like him.
Sure.
So Charlie's feeling kind of like maybe, but he likes it. He likes it, but it's like, I kind of feel bad that I might be wasting our time. Yeah, we'll go to the back room.
Okay, great. So you go up the stairs. It's a weird looking room. There are no windows, and the walls and and the back of the door too, I think, are all covered in black drapes embroidered with stars and constellations. I think Irene, at least, you recognize the constellations as representing the 12 animals of the Chinese zodiac. Charlie, you literally are a medium, so like stars and divination are often related. In the center of this kind of office, there's a table and 2 chairs, but he will usher you all inside, asking whoever wants to be first to be seated so he can calculate their horoscope. But all of you would see this right away. Over the chair.
You okay, Lauren?
I'm having a great time. Over the chair, there's a sword hanging. And the blade and the hilt are made from kind of threaded Chinese coins.
Just to be clear, this is a sword that's like hanging from the ceiling with its
it's
pointed
not
at your
Sharp
head.
though.
No,
Like,
it's not sharp.
It's just decorative.
Yes.
It's hung on the wall, right?
It's hung above the chair.
Like
Like, it's
literally
put-
above the chair, like a
Like a
chandelier.
It's
like a
not
chandelier.
pointing down. It's not pointing down.
Not like
I
some sort
don't
of
like
death
that.
trap, right?
No, you're not in a death trap at all. Why would you say that? Why would you say that? So who's sitting in the chair?
Charlie,
Not Zed.
Charlie, unless one of you really wants to, Charlie will do it because he did this to us as a group.
This is his
I mean,
fault.
Charlie will sit in
Ganymede
it.
wants to as well,
Yeah.
but she'll let Charles take the lead,
No,
I think.
Ganymede, please, by all
This
means.
is your
you can
cross
go
to bear,
first.
Charles.
Yeah, Ganymede, you want to sit in the chair?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can totally see like this awkward moment between the two of them, like, oh, no, please go ahead. No. Oh, okay.
Ladies first.
And she's in the chair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold it up for her.
Finally, Mr. Lung looks like he's doing something like normal. He asks you for your date of birth, which is
January 13th, 1900.
That was the rat. And the element was metal. Okay. So he busies himself He pulls out charts, he cross-references them, he asks you for the time of your birth as near as you can get it. There's a square grid that he is using of 13 segments, and he's muttering constantly, but he keeps like looking up at you and then like up at the sword, and back at you, and then like up at the sword, and then he'll busy himself again. Make a psychology check.
Yes. Yeah, and I look over my shoulder as well as it, after he does it a couple of times. I'm like, what are you looking at back there?
I'll look too.
I fail everything today.
Yeah. I don't know. He's just a weird guy. Maybe eccentric. Maybe this is part of his shtick for like foreigners.
I think that's what you want us to think. I
What?
think that's what you want us to think.
No, it's not. The cat is like going around your legs, Zeb, just having a great time.
Just keep petting it.
Ganymede is fascinated in this as a ritual and a cultural practice. She's just observing and taking mental notes, and yeah, this is super interesting to her. So I don't think it feels weird. I think she's in her element in a new culture and a new environment, trying to learn as much as she can.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And then at like some point, he's like not talking again, which Mr. Lee is like, that's weird that he's not talking while he does. I mean, it's intense work, but usually he would be telling you stuff as you go along. I think he starts muttering something. Mr. Lee translates as parents, family. That's what he's talking about. But he looks back, Mr. Lung looks back up at all of you. And like one more time back up at the sword. And then he kind of slams his hand on the table, and stands up. He reaches into his sleeve and withdraws what looks like fistfuls of cash and like slams it on the table.
Ganymede is up. As soon as he stands up, she's going to stand up too and probably take a step back. This is starting to get...
What the hell is going on here?
Charlie actually says that. Like,
Mr. Lee will be like, look at the notes on the table, and he goes, hell money.
Hell money?
Hell money. I mean, that's sure is one way to translate that.
Yes. And then he like hell banknotes. And he starts to kind of explain what's going on. But Mr. Lung is looking so confused right now. And and there's like this there's obvious like chaos going on right now as this happens. I need to just do something. I don't want you to worry about it.
can I go
I'm
touch
gonna
this
worry
man?
about it.
Yeah, you can start to approach him.
Yeah, I will.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. You start to walk toward him.
Yeah, I'm walking toward him. Like,
Okay.
sir, are you? Are you all right?
Yeah, and he starts to kind of, as you approach him, he bolts. He is like steps up onto the desk and is like jumping over it. What do you do?
I'm gonna grab his arm.
Okay, you're trying to grab him?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm glad. Yeah, how do you
gonna touch him.
how do you want to try to grab him?
I'm gonna just grab onto his I'm gonna take a fistful of his fucking robes. I
Okay, what kind of check do you think you need to make?
don't know, fast. I would imagine if he's throwing himself, it doesn't like grabbing onto somebody's robes, it would just yank you back, right? Like it's
Right,
gonna use his
right.
momentum against him.
Okay.
So how I don't know. However you want me to do that.
I don't know. I think Dex. Well, what is your Dex actually?
65.
Okay, that's his too.
Okay.
So you're acting at the same time as he's. Yeah. Go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead. Just
okay,
make a
okay.
Dex check.
Extreme
wow.
success.
Yeah.
My rolls are really fire today, actually.
You grab him, pull him back, and he starts to, he lets out this terrified scream, like this yelp.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my hand on his shoulder and sit him in the chair.
Uh-huh. Okay. I think then as you like sit him down, he reaches back into his like sleeves again and pulls out another match. You're like, wait, weren't those out there? How did he get them in here? And he lights it and he like throws the match down onto the desk with all the banknotes on it, and it starts to stink.
I'm gonna okay.
Okay.
Can I medium or something? Like
I need to know what everyone else is doing first as this is happening.
You know, just casual. I'm just like looking at this dude out of character, being like, this is so much fucking fire hazard. You're
Yes.
supposed to have a candle, and then you put the spirit money onto it and let it burn that way. Don't fucking yeet the match onto the bank, onto the
He's
spirit money
obviously
on
not.
the table.
He's not in a good place.
He's not in a good place right now. He's just.
So, Irene, are you just watching?
I'm like, is there like water or a sink anywhere or anything of that? Irene's kind of concerned about the fire hazard.
Yeah, there's a bathroom. There's a water closet next, back down the stairs. You passed as you came up.
Cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
casually go over there and just like, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Get
So
some
I know
water.
where Irene's going. Zeb, what are you doing?
Zeb is just absent-mindedly scratching the cat and just
Yeah.
looking like it's not the weirdest thing they've seen at this point. They've seen weird shit. It's just strange. He's just kind of got like a cocked eyebrow, and he's just like,
And Ganymede.
Same. Ganymede is moved back out of the way, back toward where Zeb is.
Sure.
But just very curiously observing this chaotic situation
Okay.
and trying to decide if at some point she needs to intervene. But for now, she's just watching.
Great. Beautiful. Charlie, what are you doing?
I'm trying to vibe with him. Like, okay, so like this man is clearly like under duress. Like he's in some kind of like distress, and Charlie doesn't know what's going on. So Charlie puts his hand on his shoulder. I'm gonna try and connect with any spirits that are here.
Great.
Because he's warding against something. He's losing it. And that's what I do, you know, Lauren? That's what I do. I just
you
fucking talk
open
to
yourself
spirits
up.
or alien presences. Like I'm
Or
just gonna I just want to throw
demons.
that, or demons, literally whatever is here. I
Sure.
would happily talk to them. Any foreign
Great.
non-bodied apparition.
Yeah.
Also, I just decided Charlie's birthday, and it's on the new moon in August. You're welcome. Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. So hold on.
Great.
A second.
Make a medium check. And then look up the possession rules for me.
I would love to. I think it just happens, but let me go, do it.
Awesome.
Okay. Medium.
This is the best day.
Extreme success because my
Wow.
rolls are literally on fire today. That's my magic. My magic spent is 2, which is
Great.
also wow, incredible, outstanding. And
Yeah.
then let me tell you a little bit about it.
Yeah.
If a malevolent presence hijacks a situation, the medium may attempt an opposed power roll to cast out the malignant entity. If failed, the entity may be able to control the medium's body for up to 1d10 rounds before the medium falls unconscious and the entity is thrown off. Such events are likely to call for sanity rolls.
Let's do it.
So,
Opposed
power
power
check.
check. Woo, 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 woo,
Okay,
woo,
I'm sorry.
woo.
You go first. I'm so excited.
Whose rolls are on fire? Whose rolls are on fire?
What is going on?
It's happening, everyone.
Okay.
We're about to have our first possession.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, if I came out with a 2 or some shit, that'd be wild. But
So a couple
1d10.
things happen while Charles is doing this. The cat starts freaking out, yowling. It almost sounds like a baby crying, the way that Siamese cats can do that. And it bolts out of the room. Mr. Lung, while Charlie is like in the process of doing this, can move, right? And he will move toward the door, but not to go out of it. He actually closes the door, and locks it. Irene, you are downstairs getting water. You are not in this room. He kind of turns back around and says to Charlie, which Mr. Lee translates as he's freaking out. He says that Mr. Lung said, "I have you now, demon." And Mr. Lung pulls a cord, and the black drapes drop, and the room is filled with just mirrors on every surface. And Charlie, as this happens, as this is going on, what maybe only Irene sees is downstairs, the cat outside of the water closet starts to contort. And like you hear those like sounds of like little, it almost sounds like bones snapping, but it doesn't look like the animal is hurt. But it does pass out. The cat passes out, and Charlie, a malevolent entity fills your body and will possess you for 4 rounds, as you want nothing more than to kill Mr. Lung. Downstairs, Irene, you see this cat like faint onto the ground. What do?
I am scooping up that cat. I'm
Okay.
just feel like, oh God, what is happening?
You go to pick up the cat. Make a spot hidden check.
Oh boy.
Uh-huh.
Great.
Great. Just a regular is all you need. Maybe what draws your eye is whatever draws your eye to the window outside across that, has been open to let the smoke from the burning slippers out. Across the street, there's a man in Western style clothing, a familiar man who kind of raises his hand when he sees you.
No.
What's this man's name?
This is Victor Gallo, aka Irene's ex.
And father of her child. And that's where we're going to end this episode. Okay. Okay, let's go around. Let's talk to everybody. See how you enjoyed this wacky episode that I was so excited to do because it was just wacky. Let's start with with the man who knows more now than he did when we started, Tommy.
I'm choking on, just everything you just, shoved at us, Lauren. Just, how could you? How could you?
I don't know. Oh,
How could you?
I don't know, man. That was fun.
No comment.
Great, good.
Hi, I'm Tommy. I had a pair to Penguin on the Twitter sphere. I'm a little angry right I do tabletop RPG and video editing stuff across the interwebs. I'm too angry to give this outro. Go watch these people. They're awesome. God damn it, Lauren.
Let's go over to Summer.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Someone I was expecting.
Remember how you said, "Is this a death trap?" Who said that? Okay. Welcome to the death trap.
Yeah, but interesting. Really excited for next week. Wow, I'm really excited for next week. I'm gonna kill a man. It's gonna be great. And it may not be who you expect it to be. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Really happy here to teach Zeb about the ways of the world. As always, had such a good time. I'm Summer. You can find me on Twitter at justasummerjob. That's where I tweet and retweet about everything that I've got going on. But the only thing that I want to promo right now is, other than this, which you can find me here every freaking Saturday, is Missing Annie Lee every Friday. And there's 2 whole episodes out, and there's gonna be more. There's gonna be more episodes coming out next Friday. So if you haven't given it a listen yet, please do. Please go listen to it, because it's really good. And I don't blame you if you want to binge it later, but just the suspense, you know what I'm saying? Just get in on it. Get on the ground floor. Be there before it was cool. It is cool, but
It's already cool.
before everyone knew about it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, Off the Table and Salty Sweet Games, we all worked on that together, and we put a lot of time and effort, energy, passion into that. So please go listen. Otherwise, I'll see you all here next Saturday, where I'm sure things will be fine. 1d4 rounds. I won't forget. Or 1-4. 4 rounds. Already rolled. 4 rounds. It's going to be fine.
Let's head up to Allie. Hi, Allie.
Hey. I'm super confused.
I get that. I get that.
But there is nowhere I would rather be confused than Shanghai in 1925, and no people I would rather be confused near than all of you. Thanks so much, everybody, for being a part of this today. Thank you, all of you who are watching us on YouTube. We see you. We appreciate you. Yeah, you. Thank you. You can find me on Twitter at Allison Robinson with 2 L's and a Y, where I tweet about space and robots and games like this and other nerdy stuff. Follow me there if that's your bag. And I'll see you back here next week. We're going to go out and play in the snow, I think, right now. I think we're going to go play in the snow.
Excellent. Kienna, anything personal to plug?
Oh, man. I knew this was going to come at some point, but the fact that there's a cliffhanger, excuse you. Yeah, you can find me over on Twitter at Kienna S. Best way to figure out I'm doing when I'm not here. I'm mostly just here, though. I've got a couple of cool announcements as to other streams that I'll be showing up on for one-shots. Some really cool projects, so keep an eye out for those. But otherwise, Missy Annie Lee, all that good stuff. Just hang out here.
Excellent. And I am Lauren. I am That Salty Ginger on Twitter. Obviously, I'm here every Saturday. You can also catch me GMing one half of our Missing Annie Lee podcast and playing in the other. It's really awesome. It's on all your favorite podcast apps, and you should listen to it and then tell us what you think. Yeah. Otherwise, I will be back here because Wednesday, the 24th, does that sound like a date in February at
Yes.
2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, we have season 2 of our Burn Bright campaign Against the Stars. Coming back with our original cast, and Kienna is GMing, and it's going to be a blast. We're very excited for that. But yeah, follow us on Twitter and YouTube. Both are at Salty Sweet Games to keep up with what we are doing. Yeah, that's what I have to say. Thank you to our sponsors, Roll20, Dice Envy, and Grinding Coffee Co. for supporting us. Thank you for all watching and all that stuff. Thank you for the resub earlier, Jim. It all means so much. We are going to head out now, and I'm very excited to be back next week to see what happens. But that is it for now. So wave bye, everybody. Goodbye. Goodbye.